Welcome back. You're watching the Power Breakfast Show, and this morning on our interview segment, we are hosting the Council of Governors Chairman, and he's also the Bomet Governor, Mr. Isaac Ruto, to talk to us about the referendum push. Among other things, matters county government. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you.
Thank you very much for joining us. And of course, Mutegi Njau joins us this morning.
So, what brings you here this morning? You have a message. What is the message?
The message is that devolution should be allowed to succeed, and that we should make sure that it is anchored properly. We should put in place non-return valves so that we don't go backwards to the days when we over-centralized and we ended up not having development down there where the people live.
So is devolution failing? Has it failed?
Devolution is not failing. In fact, it is moving on well, but there are serious threats on devolution, very serious threats on devolution. Parliament is busy passing legislation that by the time they are through with this legislation, you will not recognize what devolution is all about.
Can you give us
It is very important. For example, the various laws that they have now passed, look at the one on health.
Yes.
They want to reverse all health care back to national government. They have refused to devolve roads more than a year down the line. They have refused to devolve properly issues of water and water distribution. There is a whole host, including mining bill, including agriculture. They have refused to devolve agriculture. According to the fourth schedule, agriculture is what remains of national government is agriculture policy. But if you look at how they have come up with the legislation on agriculture, it is impossible. It's just by word of mouth that agriculture is devolved. Agriculture moving forward is going to remain still a national government preoccupation.
But those, when you say they have refused to devolve roads, for instance,
yes,
but that's a policy.
It's not a policy. It's
They
also
don't want to devolve roads because they think counties, you have the national highway, the rural roads,
yeah,
the urban roads. Why do you want to use of this power?
Which ones of that has been devolved, according to you?
They shouldn't.
Huh? They shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Then you are just the same. I think you speak for them.
Why
No,
do you think
because
they should be devolved?
Let me tell you, the Constitution says, it is the Constitution that gives directions on devolution of roads.
Yeah.
It says there are two types of roads. National trunk roads, which belongs to national government. National trunk roads, which belongs to national government. And then all the others are county roads. A trunk road is class A and B. C, D, na kuelekea chini are county roads. That is the Constitution.
What about
that is
what
the
about roads
Constitution.
that cross 2 counties or 3, but they are not national trunk roads?
Those are class B, class C roads.
So?
And those ones we have said, class C roads, we can let national government maintain. But all those roads moving from one market to the other market are county roads. That is the Constitution, Bwana Njau. That is the Constitution. It is not for you to decide. It is what Kenyans passed. The question is, do we want to implement this Constitution or don't we want to do it? We have made that decision since April last year. There was a summit agreement. There were discussions continuously, various sectoral meetings, including the Senate made a decision in April that these are devolved functions. National government, please release them. The national government has refused to release those roads.
What do you think the reason is?
I do not want to go into that, because if I go into that, I open a new Pandora's box, and I may be seen to be imputing improper motives on others. Just suffice to say, the national government has refused to implement the Constitution insofar as roads is concerned. Now the rest is conjecture. The rest is for you to decide. They have not given official reasons, but the reasons I can give you could easily be my perception,
Which is?
which is that they want to retain it for other reasons other than.
You see, road construction is a technical thing. Do the counties have the technical capacity to do roads?
Who does it at the national government? Where are the technical people in the national government? Are they Kenyans or are they from Tanzania? If they are from Tanzania, they can also come to the counties. Let me tell you, aren't they the same people who are doing it in the counties right now? And let me tell you, we are not so keen on handling very major technical issues. We are interested in making sure the roads are properly marramed, culverts are properly installed, that the people are able to move to hospital, that we are able to quickly get people out of the village in an emergency situation, that we are able to deliver our food crops to the markets. That is the main preoccupation of the locals. They want to take their milk to the market. They want to take them to the cooling plants. But if they are unable to take the milk to the cooling plants, what reasons can we give for that? The Constitution, Kenyans pushed for this Constitution so that they are able to solve their problem closer home. Let me also tell you that the rest of the world, the countries that have developed, have actually devolved properly. We were in the US looking at their structure of devolution, and there are some states that are so devolved you cannot even recognize. But here in Kenya, we want to centralize. The problem we're having right now is that there are centrists and there are those who prefer devolution. And the centrists want to roll back the gains Kenyan thought they had backed in 2010. And they are doing that through legislation, ordinary legislation.
You see, one of the concerns is that if governors get roads, the standards will not be there. You see the road that the Governor Machakos built.
I don't want to discuss about that because I've not seen it.
It's an example. And we have gone there. Journalists have gone there. They say it's not a road. If you are going to build roads like those,
I don't know about that because I haven't been there. And what you cannot ask me to comment on what I do not know. Let me tell you also something else that the law provides. The standards belongs to national government, and the designs belongs to them. All those things, quality control belongs to them. Where are they when those things are happening? They are supposed to give proper designs and supervise and maintain standards. That is the main work of the national government.
Governors will just want roads. They want all those devolved so that you can involve yourself in tendering, where the crucial issue, tendering.
So you would rather the national government retains the tendering and continue with that process? What is it that you are looking about? Because if you are interested in ensuring that there are cost-effective ways of doing roads, let me tell you, there are people from American contractors, there are Malaysians who are telling us that a road will cost only 21 to 22 million shillings with all the technical specifications observed like they do in America. Here in Kenya, we do 1 kilometer at 90 million shillings a kilometer or 60 million a kilometer. Why is it 3 times when the national government handles it? It costs hardly 22 million shillings to do a road. So why do we do 5 times the cost? The point we are putting across is let there be the 2 levels of government handling the roads. We are in the doing, they are in the technical and standards maintenance. If the standards are not maintained, it is their failure. Let me also tell you that the same technical personnel that are in the national government should be available for the counties. Yes, I'm not going to design a bridge, but I want the bridge done. And there are experts in the national government. Yes, those experts can be available to do roads in Kenya, to supervise the roads in Kenya. But we want the local population to participate in terms of also accountability. The more the people, the more the accountability situations.
Yes.
Is there accountability in the national government? I've been talking to contractors.
In national government, it's impossible to enforce.
Even counties.
How?
I've been talking to contractors.
Where?
One contractor, around.
Around where?
Around Kenya.
Around Kenya.
And they tell me for you to get a contract from a governor, you must cough. You must cough.
I would like such a person to come forward and tell us which county he has had to deal with.
He tells me many.
Many where? You need to, you know the problem is sweeping statements. You make a sweeping statement.
I can't say specifically because
yes,
it will be defamatory. It will be defamatory.
Yes.
No, if it is defamatory,
it is common knowledge.
Why do you say it is defamatory? Knowledge. You bring the evidence. If you bring the evidence, the fellow can be taken to court. It is not a question of defamatory. If it is factual, if it is factual, put it on the table. It will help.
Not one.
It will help.
Not one. Many. They won't get contracts.
Yes. So can you get one?
Say. But
can you get one who can come to the fore?
And I cannot come and say if it is me.
No, you can get the evidence. Is there no way? You can even report to anti-corruption. They can do the investigation. They can even be trapped. How do they give this money? You know, people have all sorts of reasons when they fail to get a job. The point here is that the closer it is to the people, the more the accountability mechanisms, because those things are advertised, they are supposed to go through the procurement procedures, they compete, it is an open, it is put on the board. When you're opening the bids, they are all there. What reasons do you have not to get the job? What reasons? Is it that...
predetermined.
Let me also tell you, this is just stories. Governors do not get involved in tendering. Ours is beyond, even the law does not allow us to participate in those things. Then there is a tender committee, there is a procurement committee, there are chairmen of those tender boards, there are evaluation committees. These are technical people. But the governor
do you accept the fact that that is in written form? Yeah. But the actions that happen behind the scenes are totally different, because when you say you're not involved in the tendering process, but you know the person who's in charge of procurement, you could easily place a phone call.
How many are there? Do you know there are 10? So each one of them, will be
all your appointees.
Each one will be
all of them are appointed by you.
Okay, in the national government, whose appointees are they?
The president.
Let me tell you that in the counties, the appointments are done by an independent public service board, county public service board. They do the interviews, and if you check, a large number of the county public service board do not agree with the government, and they will appoint according to the interviews that they do. And the law is very clear on how that is done. And they finally end up doing those jobs. And the thing is advertised. What we try to do is to make sure that it is as transparent as is practical. But nevertheless, I would like you, Bwana, to one of these Saturdays, come out now Usunguke counties, have a look at it. You know what is happening is that there is a disconnect between Kenyans in urban areas, in the comfort of Buruburu, in the comfort of Kileleshwa, in the comfort of Upper Hill here, in the comfort of Muthaiga, who are in Nairobi. Their only concern is the traffic jam.
I don't live in those areas.
No, their only concern, yeah, in Langata, the only concern for you in Nairobi here is the traffic jam and whether the water is coming and whether takataka is collected. What else is your concern here? You can go to any medical center. Yes. It is within 5 minutes reach.
Let's talk about health. What you do like done about health, which is not happening?
It's not happening.
Devolution.
We would like adequate resources given to health.
But the level 5 hospital, yes, they were given money.
They were given money.
In the budget.
How much? Can you recall?
I can't.
This year they were given 1.8 billion.
Yes.
Last year it was 3.7 billion. So is that progress or a negative move? Last year they were given 3.7 billion. This year Parliament reduced it to 1.8 billion. How do you run those hospitals? Last year you could only run them at 3.7 billion. This year you must run them at 1.8 billion. So what are you telling us? You've given us only money to run those level 5 hospitals for 6 months. So by January they should be closed until July next year.
Is that why you are looking? Anyway, are you asking for a referendum separate from the third one?
I don't know. Ask me about the referendum. We ourselves are Council of Governors.
Yes.
I am the chairman of the Council of Governors.
Yes.
The Council of Governors is not a subset of CORD or Jubilee. It is a Council of Governors of the Republic of Kenya, 47 counties. And we have agreed that we believe there are certain things that have to be anchored properly in this constitution if devolution is to move to the future with certainty, without reverse gears. Yeah. You see, they have, in medical care, level 5 hospitals, we had 3.7 billion. Now they have allocated 1.8. And there is a bill in Parliament to reverse healthcare back to national government. And there is propaganda that we are unable to handle healthcare. So it is to be reversed. There is a bill already in Parliament. There are bills in water. There are bills in roads. There is bills in mining. There are a list of 23 bills before Parliament. By the time all those bills are through Parliament, you will not recognize these devolved structures. Let me now finish. So we are going to the referendum, not because CORD is going. Remember, we are the first ones who talked about these issues from last year. Jubilee pleaded with us that, look, we have just come into office, allow us time to adjust. They also told us they would rectify our issues in the next budget. And then there were serious issues that faced Kenya. Remember, we were here and we mentioned to you that Kenya faced a serious security trauma after the attacks at Westgate. Kenya was at standstill for about 4 days. Then we thought maybe putting too much pressure on our national executive may expose Kenyans to more danger. Let's allow them to put the security docket in place and to protect Kenyans. Let us give them time. We gave them time, and we did not push them. And we went to the negotiating table. First, we know in the budget, last year there was 350 billion for county governments, but they gave us 190. This year, they have given us 226. There is 180 billion remaining in the national budget, which they are going to use to do the same functions which have been devolved and which we are also doing. So we realized they are just refusing. From 350, CRA said, okay, accept 279. We accepted 279. We went to IBEC, where the Deputy President chairs. We agreed, okay, fine, we are willing to let you give us them 240 because that will be just enough for us to manage these things. They gave us 217. And then those others back at 226. It still isn't moving anywhere. They tell us that they've given us 43%. Can you believe it? How can 226 be 43% of 963 billion collected last year? That is only hardly 22%. And they dare say it in public. They dare announce that they have given counties 43%. But they are calculating.
43% of audited accounts.
The last audited accounts approved by Parliament, which is 20910. Why are you saying to run counties, you can only use the funds on the basis of what Kenya received 5 years ago? Are those people?
Isn't that what the law says?
Are those people living Mashinani? Are they entitled to food of 5 years ago? Would you like your mother to be given food of 5 years ago? Is that what you want? That is the law. That is what the law is saying.
That's what the law says.
That is what the law is saying. That is why we want to change that law. Because we want 45% of last year's revenue.
Mr. Ruto, sorry, before we go on, what are county governments then doing to ensure that they're getting money, they're generating money for their governments?
Let me tell you, there is a risk there. Because you see, all the reasonable taxes are assigned to the national government by the constitution. VAT, sales tax, all those things belong to the national government. If you try in introducing more taxes on Kenyans, it is going to be disastrous. Kenyans are already overtaxed. If you start continuing to overtax them, that's a risk. What we are only trying to do right now is to improve on collection of rates. And remember, the people in the villages are much poorer. And if you start introducing serious new taxation measures, you are going to impoverish them even more. So the best situation is to get adequate share of the resources, grow the economy, and then you get a bigger tax base for the national government. Because fiscal policy, fiscal responsibilities, fiscal issues belong to national government, not to the county governments.
Tell us now the nature of your referendum, the one you want, whether it's the same as code.
Yeah, the referendum
is it the same as code?
I'm yet to familiarize myself with the code referendum. But what we are asking for ourselves is this. We want 45% of the resources, like we said last year, be devolved. And this is money that is already available in the budget. We are not eating into national government functions. We look at the budget and we check it against the resources collected last year. That is 960 billion. 45% of that would be 410. That is the figure that belongs to the counties. If you go to the national budget right now, we can remove that money and show you this plus this plus this plus this equals to 410 billion, and this money equals to 45%. So this is the money that belongs to the county governments. We are not grounding the service of the national government. We know national government must make provisions for consolidated fund services. The national government must fund defense, must fund security, must fund what? But we are asking for those that which are within the budget, which can then come into the county. So we want 45%.
So how will you
how
will you do it?
A participation.
Talk about the referendum.
Yes,
are there two referendums?
There is a referendum by the Council of Governors. There is also, there is a referendum by CORD. I do not speak for CORD. I speak for the Council of Governors. So in the Council of Governors, we are talking about 45%. In the Council of Governors, we want measures in the law that will assure that we do not eat into the gains so far made by Kenyans. We want to install various non-return valves in the constitution, that you cannot go back on it. that you can only have it there and you can't go backwards. We even want to strengthen Senate so that Senate can actually represent the counties and make the final decision on this. We want Senate to be the upper house and to have a serious role on this. Notwithstanding our differences about how Senate is operating, that's neither here nor there. In the structure of divorce systems, Senate is a critical part of that devolution.
Then why are you opposed to senators, and you have gone to court?
We have not. We are
you
not
opposed to senators chairing.
That is not their role. You know, the Constitution talks about separation.
You have been to. I saw an advertisement yesterday with your lawyers.
Yes, we are indeed going to court on that. Not against the Senate per se.
No, against
against a specific chairing activity. It is not a question of the Senate doing that.
Senator chairing.
What we want to reaffirm in the Constitution is the separation of powers. There is a role for Senate, which is articulated in Article 96. Their job is legislation and to represent and protect the counties and the county governments and do other things, including oversight. But their job is not executive. The Constitution gives executive functions to the President of the Republic of Kenya and the cabinet secretaries and the structures. At the county level, to the county governments, the governor, the deputy governor, and the executives downwards. That is how it is.
Let me ask you this. CDF for years, CDF,
yes,
the MP has been very much influential in determining the management of CDF.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
You have been an MP.
Yes.
You have done it.
Yes.
And your role was not implementation. Your role was supervision. How come you accept that, but you don't accept the other one?
No, the Constitution does not accept CDF. It is members of parliament insisting on CDF. CDF is not a devolved function. CDF is a decentralized fund. And that is what sometimes beats logic. You will hear an MP making it publicly that CDF is the most devolved fund. What is devolution? Devolution involves not just resources, it also involves power. The local people will not participate in the budgeting. They may give ideas, but the budget will only be approved in Nairobi for CDF. When you devolve together with the power to make decisions.
Even your budget is approved by Nairobi.
No, it is not. Our budget is approved by our county assembly. And this is where sometimes, this is where we go wrong. We do not seem to understand the beginning of Constitution.
Allow me to read a few SMSs that are coming in. And Governor Isaac Ruto, we are happy devolution fruits are being registered in our villages. As a youth, I want to applaud you over our new stadium being constructed in Bomet town. That's Elisha Koi. But then quite a number of people are disappointed with governors and what governors are doing. Ask Governor Ruto whether he's aware that Baringo County Public Service Board allowed 3 persons they did not shortlist nor interview to be vetted by the County Assembly of Baringo and appointed. Is he aware that in Baringo County it is the MCA and the governor and not the BCPSB who get employed? Then there's someone else who says, Mr. Ruto, more money and that wastage, bring that referendum and you will fail miserably. Congo in Rero, it is unfortunate governors always ask for money, but they spend the money traveling all over the world. We can do without them. Then there's someone else, and I want to see someone, Mr. Ruto, in your backyard, so many roads are done. You're the sole contractor with a host of companies and you fight for devolution is to have as many functions as possible for you to please be truthful and say you are not prepared to govern and you make noise to divert your failures. Those are some of the views. A lot of Kenyans very, very disappointed that...
not only with Ruto, more
yes, that's what I'm saying with governors.
We will get to know at the referendum stage. What is the issue? We are giving it before Kenyans. If Kenyans, let me tell you, if Kenyans say we don't want to devolve or to protect devolution, that will be the decision of Kenyans. Let me also tell you something else. There is a division between those Kenyans in the rural areas and there are Kenyans who are satisfied up here. Sometimes there are class issues and there will be those who are used to centralized way of doing things. But I want to tell you, if we are to devolve and anchor devolution properly and not reverse it, you will progress further. What is happening at the moment? There are Kenyans. Devolution. There are people who have forgotten.
Kenyans are disappointed by the way you're
Then the best thing is, those governors you are dissatisfied with, it is only a matter of 3 years, you remove them. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long for you to remove them. If you feel they are doing nothing, get them out of office That is what the vote, that is the power of the vote. But we cannot discuss issues that are not verified, and issues that could be propaganda, issues that could be hearsay. We cannot debate them here on national television. You know, somebody telling you about an activity which they want you to give, to lend currency to it by talking about it. The point is there ought to be appropriate evidence, and if somebody is dissatisfied about a specific action, there are institutions to deal with it. Just like you told me about a few minutes ago, that you cannot go beyond that. The point here is we have got to address the issue of accountability in the entire system of Kenyan society.
The reason why the county development boards or committees are being set up is for accountability reasons. And that's why you're being told, let somebody chair it, who is the senator, you are all elected by the same people, you be the secretary, so that you now check one another.
So who is chairing? Can we then elect the Speaker of the Senate to chair development of the country, and the President will be the Vice Chairman? Is that what you are telling us to do? You have got to understand the structure of devolution, design, and the intentions, which are in the first few paragraphs of the Constitution. One, it states that Kenya is one sovereign, indivisible nation, whose sovereignty is exercised at two levels, at the national level and at the county level. And it lists who exercises that sovereignty at the national level, which is the President and his cabinet, and the Parliament at the national, and Parliament means Senate and the National Assembly. And then at the county level, the county government, that is the governor, and the county assembly. If you now start rubbishing the county assembly down there,
it's not being rubbish.
No. Let me tell you, the very structure, the very fact that you can get a person assigned a national function, national parliament, to come and chair, and the MCAs are absent. So what is the role of the county assemblies if they are not allowed to participate in this developmental role? And why bring in punitive measures? If you don't attend,
because of the conduct,
you will be jailed for 5 years or fined 1 million shillings.
Look at the way the MCAs have done it. They have, in fact, embarrassed us internationally. 6 countries already have said, we do not want county assemblies from Kenya to visit us.
There are mistakes in the first year which are now being addressed.
No, you can't.
But you cannot.
Those are the ones that are making us react.
Yes.
So it is not that devolution is bad.
So
but you have no business.
So what do you want to do? Do you want that we combine them? That because the MCAs made these travels, therefore they have no more role where they are?
No. We need to control. That's why we are bringing the senator to make sure.
Not true.
We bring the senator to sit there and take away.
The senator does not.
No.
The senator's role. We are talking about the Constitution. They have assigned functions. These are national functions. The senator has a function at the national level. At the county level, it is the county government and the MCAs. Now, the moment you start saying the MCAs have no role, then you have assaulted the Constitution. That is an assault. It also says, listen to Article 6, it says the 2 levels of government are distinct and separate, but shall conduct their business on the basis of mutual consultation and cooperation. And every level of government should respect, that is Article 189, the institutional integrity of the other level of government. Are you respecting the institutional integrity of the lower levels of government if you do what you are doing?
You are bringing a committee or a board for development.
Yes.
I don't know whether you said the MCAs will not take part in the board.
Yes.
I do not know the details. But what you're objecting to is the senator chairing whoever the members are and the governor. But
no,
the governor
it's not just the senator, the issue of the senator.
It's the senator.
The issue that we have a problem with is even the role of that board. There are even members of the parliament who belong to the national executive. There are even
the MPs belong to the county.
They belong to the county.
Yeah.
Then I think I should just
senators,
first of all explain to you the various roles, and I thought I have done that. This government is in 2 layers. The MPs do not belong to the lower layer. They belong to the upper layer. MPs belong to the national government. MCAs belong to the county government. And the MCAs do that oversight role. So there is that separation of functions. That is why we say this is a national government function and this is a county function.
Are you very happy
Mr.
with
Ruto, if you're not against the senators, then why didn't most of you attend the meeting that was
we had to meet
Saturday?
to discuss certain
And
very
this
important
Saturday
issues.
meeting was among other things going to discuss
things,
the issue of impeachment, which most governors are facing.
that meeting which was supposed to make up to board between the senators?
We
and the
found
governors?
we found we could not get time, and we did not. And we informed them that we can postpone that meeting, and there were serious issues on the table, including these ones. Yeah. And there is no need to go there and end up announcing that the senators and the governors disagree. That is worse. So the best thing is for us to continue consultation and continue getting in touch with the Senate. And I want to tell you, we, in terms of overall situation, we still believe the Senate has a role, and that Senate should simply be strengthened to perform their role. And that is one of the issues we are bringing forth, that the Senate should be strictly an upper house of Parliament. And they should then have certain roles like internationally what the Senate does. What we are against is the Senate being brought down to other levels. The Senate should
but to help you work.
Because you've got confused.
Elgeyo Marakwet, Senator Kipchumba Murkomen has said you are, trying to blackmail the government.
For what reason?
I don't know. What's your take on that?
Where is Kipchumba Murkomen? He should come here.
It was in the newspapers yesterday.
Kipchumba Murkomen, I don't understand what he's talking about blackmailing government. We are blackmailing government so that we get what?
You get more money.
These
more money.
These are issues we want resolved. I would like Murkomen to address the issue I'm raising. I would like him here to challenge me on 45%. Even the mathematical arrival at 45%. I would like him to challenge me on that. I would like him to challenge me on the issues I've listed for attention in the referendum. Take, for example, the question of gazetting our laws. Why should our laws be subject to the Attorney General to wait for ages? You cannot pass laws within your functions. And yet the Constitution provides for that. And then again, it's never printed by the government printer. There is a list of issues, a litany of issues that we want sorted out. Murkomen has announced several times, together with Professor Kindiki, that these issues are okay, but let us do them in 2017. Why 2017? That's the question. Why do you arbitrarily choose? Referenda are handled and are done in between elections. They are never done at election time. At election time, we are dealing with manifesto of the various parties. That look, this is the manifesto we are going to implement within the constitutional structures. But in between, we can rearrange the structure of that constitution.
I thought referenda is one or two questions. You can't have things.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
You don't vote many things.
There are two ways. One is through a question.
Yes.
You can have 2 or 3 questions.
Yes.
Or one question.
Yeah.
You can also have a bill. You can prepare a bill as an amendment bill and ask Kenyans, do you approve this bill? These are the issues, or do you reject it? 2 questions, only that. And then they can vote yes or no.
Of all those
we are still discussing, and we've given it to our technical committee to look at the 2 options, going into a question or going into an amendment bill. Then we anchor devolution for posterity.
What is your position on those trips the MCAs have been making?
Obviously, I've made my statement very well known that in my own view and in my experience, if you are traveling outside to another country, the delegation from Kenya should not exceed 4 or 5. Why would you travel 70 of you, 80 of you? And those are the issues.
Not only that. After the 70, another group of 70 comes to the same country,
yes,
asking the same question.
Asking the same question. That is why we are saying.
Why did we let ourselves as Council of Governors? Why did you allow that kind of?
Remember, the laws. That is why we are. The Senate is already fixing those legislations that allow that confusion, because you see, if the laws had not been implemented, all of a sudden you find there are so many confusing exits. Like, for example, they make their own decision and decide to travel. We give them their own budget and they choose what to do. Now, in this financial year, we are looking at those problems and fixing them. And we have talked to the MCAs, and they understand that, look, they have never been in this before, and they are going to organize themselves in a manner that is acceptable.
The reason why they were going is because
And
they
also,
had money.
and
They
also,
had excess money.
and also, there is the question of foreign affairs is a function of the national government. It's up to the national government to clear Isaac Ruto when he's traveling out of the country. Why does the Ministry of Foreign Affairs allow 80 plus 80 plus 90 plus another 70 to go to the same place?
The same country.
Where was Foreign Affairs when those things were happening?
Time is not on our side. But then I think my final question will be, will we get to a point where there will be no more bickering and work is done? Because that is the issue most Kenyans are having, that our governors are out there making too much noise, fighting with the senators, fighting with the national government, MCAs. You know, when are we going to start working?
As soon as we sort out these issues, that creates safeguards. Yes, through a referendum.
We have money
then we are back to business.
Who's funding the
Let me tell you,
referendum?
Democracy
is
expensive. It is not cheap.
Yes.
And if you want another alternative to democracy, it is worse. So the best situation is, let us sort out our issues by asking ourselves and by voting. And if we decide that on a vote, we must respect it if we want to stay a civilized nation.
So we expect two referendum, one from ODM,
which you say you're not part of.
I have come here on the basis of the referendum sponsored by the Council of Governors.
Pesa Mashinani.
So Pesa Mashinani.
And when do you
I would like to
invite
you kusunguka counties and listen to the villagers. And reduce and stop listening to yourselves.
But they're talking on SMS.
They are talking.
We can show you
even talking from your village.
Can you show me your mom's?
I will show you. Maybe she sent me a message.
Can you show me your mom's message?
Even the one who talks about you in your village. And you have
I know them. I know them. I can tell you who they are.
We'll take a final question so that we can allow no more questions. Bwana Ruto, we've come to the end of our show. Thank you very much. It's been very exciting. A lot of debate coming up. I wish we had more time to bring up all the SMSs. A lot of people saying this tendering business that you're talking about, come on, the governors are involved. And I'll show you the messages after we finish. But thank you very much for coming. You're watching the Power Breakfast Show. Don't go too far.